Guys, Rory from ANSgear. We're going to take a quick look at some steel braided line today. So most of today's guns, if they're running any kind of line on them, they are running a macro line setup, which is pretty much the most common and the easiest way to do your line setups. But for some of the old school guys who like a more traditional look, or if you're looking for a line system that you that won't potentially have any problems, and I say potentially because every line system or line setup can have a problem. But if done properly with the steel braided lines, you'll run into less potential problems, I guess. Reason being, it is a sturdier line. So the steel braided hosing is it's still flexible, so you can move it around a little bit, but it doesn't kink. It won't puncture or blow out as easily. And if it gets smashed into the ground, if you're diving or sliding, it will take a beating better than macro line setups will. It is harder to put them together though. For a line setup like this, you do need to either Loctite or thread lock or Teflon tape, I'm sorry, both ends. And since these pieces don't rotate individually of the hose itself, it can be a little difficult to do a line setup if you're doing an ASA to regulator install or however you're going to do it, because once you thread this into your regulator, you can't then thread it into your ASA. You need to rotate the entire regulator with the piece onto it into your ASA, or vice versa, or however you're going to do it. So a lot of guys run quick disconnect setup lines on these so they can just snap them in and out. So I mean, it's definitely up to you. They are a more robust system than the macro line, but they can be a little bit harder to install, and they're more expensive. A macro line setup is cheaper, and you can just, for 95 cents, get a new piece of macro line and switch it out. But if you're looking for that traditional look, or you just like the steel look of the pieces, this is the setup for you. They offer them in like 3 1/4 inch all the way up to 18-inch pieces, various different sizes. So you kind of want to measure out the space that you're planning on running it through, and then trying to find one that fits into that space. They also do some like Spyder specific stuff that is metric threaded in there, because a lot of the Spyder accessories and pieces, they use a metric line. But all these pieces, you can throw standard adapters onto them, the male and female, quick disconnect line setups, everything goes onto these. They're just, if it's not a metric setup, it is a standard 1/8 inch pipe threading on there. So you can throw really anything you want on it. So check them out if you're looking to get into the steel braided or the older style looks, or maybe you just want something that is really, really strong and you don't plan on ever taking it apart, then this might be an option for you. So check them out. This is steel braided lines in all sorts of different sizes. So check the website for availability and order yours now through ansgear.com.